Welcome to Joyce Tech. You will learn to write a Python program to print the Fibonacci series using recursion in this video. I'll code and explain each step of this Python program, so make sure you watch this video till the end. I recommend you follow along with me because that way you will be able to absorb the code better. Below are the first 10 elements of the Fibonacci series. You have to remember the first two elements of the Fibonacci series are 0 and 1. You can calculate the rest of the elements using the formula fib n is equal to fib n minus 2 plus fib n minus 1. So if I have to calculate the third element of the Fibonacci series, then I simply put 3 instead of n, and the equation becomes fib 3 is equal to fib 1 plus fib 2, which in turn is going to be equal to 0 plus 1, and this is going to give me the third element as 1, which is indeed the third element if you check this Fibonacci series. This formula depicts the phenomenon of recursion using which the whole series can be printed easily. So if fib is my function and n is 5, then I'll call the function fib again, passing 4 as the parameter, and add it to the returned value of fib function, again passing 3 as the parameter. These functions in turn will call the fib functions again in the same way with reduced values, just like seen in this recursion tree, till the time the parameter passed becomes either 0 or 1. Check over here. This is the last level of the recursion tree. That's enough theory. It's time to implement it in the Python program. So I'll switch to Pycharm now, where I'll begin coding the program. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then do hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because that way you will get notified whenever I release videos like these in the future. Let's move to Pycharm now. This is my Pycharm IDE. I'm going to code the Python program in this file that I have created. I'll begin with first writing the main function. You can do so easily by typing main and let Pycharm do the work for you. The first step that you need to consider is to accept the number from the user. This number is the number of elements of the Fibonacci series that you are going to print. I'll use the input function and take its value in a variable num. So it will be num equals to sign input. Within it, I'm going to type a message, number of elements of Fibonacci series, question mark. It's fairly understood, I guess. Now, input function returns the value in a string format, but you have to assign a value of type integer in the variable num. Hence, you will have to typecast it. So I'll write int and take this entire input function within its brackets. Now it would be better if you displayed on the screen a message about the number of elements of the Fibonacci series that this program is going to print for you. So I will type printed are brackets, curly brackets, elements of the Fibonacci series dot format within brackets num. Okay, this is going to print the message. Now since you have to print the number of elements of the Fibonacci series that you receive from the user, hence it's necessary that you start a loop that will run from 0 to the number which is 1 less than the value of the variable num. Therefore I'll type for I in range within brackets 0 comma n colon. The first element of the Fibonacci series is always 0. Hence, for the sake of simplicity, it would be better that you started the loop from 0 rather than 1. Once you go deeper into the program, you will come to know. So as we progress, you are going to realize why I started this loop from 0. Now you will simply write print fib. Within its brackets, I'm going to pass I. This function is accepting each value generated by the for loop, and it will start printing the Fibonacci series values for that number or position. So when 2 is passed, it will print the third value of the Fibonacci series. When 5 is passed, it will print the sixth value of the Fibonacci series. Remember that your values are starting from 0. So when 0 is passed, you are actually printing the value at the first position of the Fibonacci series. Okay, it's like indexing of the array. The indexing in an array always starts from 0. So that's the same principle applicable over here. Now it's time to write the fib function and of course its functionality. So I am going to write def fib within brackets n colon. This n is the parameter variable which is accepting the value passed here using I. There are two base cases I explained earlier, that the first two elements of the Fibonacci series are always 0 and 1. So for the first base case, I'll write if n double equals to sign 0 colon return 0. And with it, I'm going to write the second base case as well. That would be elif n double equals to sign 1 colon return 1. So when 0 is passed, then 0 will be returned and printed. And when 1 is passed, 1 will be returned and printed. So I'm just speaking about the first two elements of the Fibonacci series. For the rest of the elements, the values will be passed to the function calls from the upper levels. Now the final line of code, which is the difference maker, is else colon return fib within brackets n minus 2 plus fib within brackets n minus 1. So when 2 is passed as the value of I, the execution will come to this line of code and the same function fib will be called again. This one will accept 0 as the parameter and this one will accept 1 as the parameter. Now this function will return 0 from here when it is called again, and this function will return 1 from here when it is called again. Both will add up and 1 will then be returned from here and printed over here on the screen. The same way it is going to work for subsequent numbers generated by the subsequent iterations. Only the function calls will go deeper this time. Now it's time to check the output. But before we click on the play button, I think I have made a mistake over here. This should be num, not n. There you go. Now let's check the output. So I'll click on this button and wait for it to show the output. So it is asking me the number of elements of the Fibonacci series that I want printed on the screen. Let me enter 9 and I hit enter. You can see that the first 9 elements of the Fibonacci series are printed, which leads me to say that the program is running fine. This concludes this video. I hope you followed along. I hope you learned to code the Python program to print Fibonacci series using recursion. I'll see you in the next video of Joey's Tech. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I request you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon, because that way you are not going to miss out on any of the videos. Thank you. Goodbye. And if you have any doubts, then you are welcome to put them down in the comment section. I promise I'll answer them. Thank you.